jump on into a little Major League Baseball talk. To start off this show, we are joined by Nick Friar, DraftKings contributor, as well as RotoWire's Erik Halterman. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great, Adam. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for being here. Obviously, I don't know if this is getting you up early, but either way, you look terrific, the both of you. Let's talk a little baseball, Nick. We're going to begin with you here. Now, looking at today's slate, pitchers, arms, the valuable guys on the mound, obviously, 8K or above. Who stands out to you most?
Well, I'm going to go with Charlie Morton here at an even 8K going up against the Cubs. They have the 7th highest K rate against right-handed pitching this season. Middle of the pack OPS, and they just got skunked the other day. And I'm trying to save a little bit of money because I think there are some really good matchups tonight against some really bad pitching. And also with Morton, every outing that he's had so far this season, he's averaged at least 1 K per inning. His K per 9 is a little bit higher than 9, but what that tells us, we know his K floor is pretty high. The Cubs, they don't swing a ton at pitches outside the zone, but Morton hasn't relied on that in terms of volume, but more so in quality because his swing and miss rate on pitches outside the zone is higher than it's been since, I think, 2016. And the Cubs don't have a ton of success at swinging at pitches outside the zone either.
Well, I said 8K or above, and Nick hugged that line right there. So, Erik, what are you going to do?
I am willing to take a chance on Trevor Rogers against Corbin Burns. He's at 8,400 today. He's a guy that I really like for season-long purposes heading into the season. He had an ERA over 6 in his 7-start debut last year, but all the underlying numbers were great. Struck out 30% of opposing batters, a little bit of a walk problem. So I wasn't too excited to see him give up 3 runs and walk a bunch of guys in his first inning of the season. But he's given up only 2 runs the rest of the year in 21 innings. Still striking out everybody at high 30% so far. A little bit of a walk problem still, but I'm okay with high walks and high strikeouts. That's a good way to get more fantasy points for your given ERA and WHIP, as long as you're putting guys away that way. And the Brewers are a bit banged up. No Christian Yelich. Park's not great. The opponent is tough, but, I mean, he's got the ability to be the best pitcher any given night. I think he's going to push Corbin Burns in a real pitcher's duel tonight.
Well, Erik, Nick had told us that he is inclined to want to pay down at pitcher some just so he can pay up at some of the positional players and really maximize the bats that are in good spots. How do you feel about that if you're looking at hitters priced at 5K and up?
Yeah, there's some good ones on there. I think Bryce Harper is the one I'm most excited about. I think he's the 5th highest in points per game on DraftKings this year among the hitters on this slate, at least among the healthy ones. But the 4 more expensive ones don't have the platoon advantage. He'll get it against Adam Wainwright today, who is not particularly scary at this point, still holding on as a pretty respectable pitcher, but nobody we have to be scared of. And Harper, he started the year a bit slow, 2 homers in his first 13 games, hitting just 238, but he's hitting 500 with 4 homers in his last 7, including 2 last night against Colorado. So I think, everybody knows how good he could be, and he's being everything he's supposed to be in the last few days. So he's the most expensive guy that I think I'd be interested in.
So, Mr. Friar, who are your big bats?
Bryce Harper is the lock of today for sure. As much as I like Alex Bregman as well going up against Justice Sheffield tonight, Harper he owns Adam Wainwright in his career with 5 extra base hits and only a 7.7 K rate against Adam Wainwright, 1.321 OPS against him. So you have the recent form with Bryce Harper where he's hitting well against rights. All of his 6 home runs, including the 2 that he hit on Sunday, have been against right-handed pitchers. But Wainwright struggled against lefties, but just what they've done throughout their career, and they faced each other quite a bit too. So we have a large sample size, and anytime a hitter goes up against a pitcher more and more, there's going to be an advantage for the hitter. And then in this case too, Harper's just put up the numbers. So I'm absolutely, Harper's the lock of the night for me.
Nick, now we need to get just a little clever, not value range, but that mid-tier section, 4 to 5K for batters. Who do you like?
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jed Lowry here at 4.2K against Rich Hill tonight. First of all, Rich Hill owes me for not hitting his K prop, the over on his K prop earlier in the season against the Rangers. It's a team that leads the league in K rate, and he got, I think, 1, maybe 2. I don't know how that happens. But more importantly, righties are smashing him this year. A 963 OPS. Lowry has a 371 WOBA, and now all his home runs have come against right-handed pitching. He has 3 doubles against lefties and a higher OPS against them as well. And if he goes up against that bullpen, the Rays bullpen, which I imagine he will, he's still liable to go deep against them. So either way, he's a versatile pick tonight, and at 4.2K, he's going to help even your lineup up.
I just wish we could have heard from people actually audibly say, wait, Jed Lowry's still in the league?
Yeah. I can't believe it either.
Turns out he's still around. Erik, how about you? 4 to 5K range.
I'm going to stick in that same game with another Oakland A. I'm going to go with Mark Cana. For much the same logic, I think Rich Hill is a guy that I definitely want to be picking on tonight. He's looking every bit of his 41 years old this season, 8.82 ERA. Will probably come down a bit, but it's he looks like an old man out there right now, and I would love to get any A's guys with the platoon advantage against him. That's Mark Cana leading off. He's a great on-base guy, on-base over 400 this year, was 393 over the last 2 seasons, so we should expect that to stick around. So if the A's score a bunch off of Rich Hill, which I think they can do, he should be right in the middle of all of it.
All right, now let's think about a little bit of value here, and I won't stand for any more Rich Hill slander, Erik, because he was a stud at 39, a stud. And yeah, I mean, at 41, you're not supposed to look good. I think just nobody tell Tom Brady. As far as hitters go, though, value guys, who do you like?
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Darren Ruff at 3,000. He's a guy who's on the short side of a platoon, so his overall numbers won't look all that special, but he should be right there in the heart of the order against Austin Gomber tonight. I wish the game was in Colorado, not San Francisco, but I think Ruff has enough power to knock it out anywhere. He's hitting only 192 this year, but he can blame a 118 BABIP for that. He's already has 3 homers and 31 plate appearances, slugging 531 over the last 2 seasons combined. I think he's a guy where whenever he's in the lineup, I think he's going to be worth more than his cheap price.
Nick, like the DVD collection behind me, I need you to really visualize bargain basement shopping. Dive into the DVD bargain bin here, but for hitters, who do you find?
Okay, so I have a few guys that I like here. Kyle Lewis at 3.3K is a good pick against Jose Urquidy. As long as he stays that low, I'm going to go in on Lewis. And I know it's righty-righty, but he has good power numbers against righties throughout his career. But more importantly, I'm going to go with the Orioles-Yankees game, looking at Davy Garcia, who had a brutal spring. And I know he's done better against left-handers than he did right-handers last season, but I still like Freddie Galvis at 3.6K, and that's going to be my value bet for tonight. Most of his power is coming against right-handed pitching this season, 2 home runs, 3 doubles, a triple, so 6 of his 8 extra base hits. And if you want a right-handed bat because of the reverse splits on Garcia, Miguel Franco, I think, has done pretty well too. He's got 3 home runs and a couple doubles against right-handed pitching this season. He's 3.5K.
All right, let's stay with you, Nick, and wrap up with this question. Favorite bet on the DK Sportsbook for baseball today?
Okay, so I have a pair that I'm going to go with that I've gone with in the past. We have Zach Wheeler's K-prop and Charlie Morton's K-prop. I did last time they started on the same night. I went with the over on both of them. They hit the over. So I'm going to say consider this as a parlay, although I will say that Morton's K-prop is a little bit higher at 6.5Ks versus Wheeler's, which is 5.5Ks. If you're going to go with just one, I'm going to go with Wheeler because he's going against the Cardinals, who have one of the 10 worst, rank among the 10 worst in K rates against right-handed pitching this season. He's hit tonight's over 3 out of 4 times this season, and once was against the Mets, who have the lowest K rate against right-handed pitching, and then once against the Braves, who have the 5th lowest K rate against K rate against 5th lowest K rate against right-handed pitching this season. So Wheeler is my number 1, but I like Morton as well.
Erik, where are you putting your cash?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the underdogs on tonight's slate, and I think the Reds at plus 155 against the Dodgers are more interesting than you normally expect with most guys going against the Dodgers. I think the gap between Tyler Mahle and Julio Urias, the 2 starting pitchers, is not particularly large. Obviously, the Dodgers are a more talented team, but they also had to go very late last night against the Padres. They used 5 relievers on Sunday and 4 Saturday. So I think their bullpen might be a little bit banged up, or at least a little bit tired. I think Mahle could keep the Reds in the game, and I think they've got enough bats to get this closer to a 50-50 game than that plus 155 implies.